This week sees myself and Darren off to the iconic Bristol Channel for a big fishing Christmas adventure. We've booked overnight accommodation and plan to spend 2 days of solid fishing in the hope of catching some rather special fish. Our first stop was to get armed to the teeth with the finest Somerset bait.
You've got like a similar
kind of frozen selection like that down there?
Yeah, we've got a chest freezer as big as that down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
With our bait boxes overflowing as much as our eagerness, we headed to our first mark of the trip, the picturesque and idyllic Porlock Weir. You probably know all about why so many venture from far and wide to fish the murky, fast-flowing waters of the Bristol Channel. But if not, it's because some big fish live here, and is a prime hunting ground for some big rays, conger, cod, amongst other species.
Hi guys!
Here we are, the iconic Bristol Channel. Myself and Darren have done the big old trek. Started at 5 AM this morning and we're finally here at Porlock Weir, which I've got to say is a stunning venue, isn't it?
Just got to put out there that the original trip was starting at 8, and as the week's gone on he's changed it to 7, quarter to 7, and then last night it was 6:30. I was expecting to be outside my house at about 4:30 this morning, but he stuck to it. He was actually late, but never mind.
I wasn't late, and we had to wait for Greg's to open anyway, so... But yeah, there we go. We're here for the big Christmas fishing special. We've got 2 days, today and tomorrow. We've got a number of marks, starting off here at Porlock Weir. Potentially, we got a bit of good information from the tackle shop earlier, who suggested that if today fishes well, or this morning fishes well down at Porlock Weir, just to move up to kind of in front of the cottages for those that know the venue, and fish the high tide over there.
It's out there, is it?
It's literally that spot there, yeah. Our original plan was to go fish high tide at Blue Anchor, but we're going to see how these next few hours go. And if it does fish well, then we'll probably stick it out. Tonight, we're going to be fishing. We've got a Premier Inn booked in Minehead. We're going to be going back for some dinner and a quick freshen up. And then tonight, we're fishing
White Mark
down in Minehead. And then tomorrow, probably, the original plan was to come back here because
Cormorant there. Going for 2 slightly different approaches, I think, but we're going to mix the baits up as the day goes on. What have you gone? 2 pulley pennels?
I've got 2 pulley pennels at the moment, of course, rotten bottom rigs on all the rigs pretty much that we're fishing this weekend. Got a mixture of baits at the moment. I've got a big fat lug sausage, tipped with squids, and then on the other one I've got a sand eel and squid wrap. So the targets are going to be, to be honest, anything that's double figures really. I want big fish, so no scratching rigs today. Most of my hooks are 5.0, 6.0 hooks. We're after hopefully a big Huss, a big eel, a big cod, of course the rays.
Big anything really.
Big anything that's big and it'll take a hook really. So, but we're here, we're fishing, we're going to give it a good go, and we'll see.
Oh, we're having fish.
A big fish.
Well, we're having fish.
You're probably having dogfish, yeah. Oh, and obviously it's the middle of December, by the way, so nearly Christmas. By the time this comes out, it'll probably be around Christmas Day. So Merry Christmas.
Yeah, because obviously people wear Santa hats in July, don't they?
Yeah, we actually filmed this around the middle of summer, but I just haven't released it yet.
That's the point, we should do that next year.
What?
Film a really good session in July.
What, then hold
wear
it back?
Christmas hats and then claim it's Christmas.
So, cowboy Darren over here, unfortunately, broke his beloved net, or his little net tray, setting up. So do you want to explain to the nice people how you've managed to bodge that?
Done a loop knot, looped it around the clip a few times, and then tied a little fill blood knot on there. Adapt and overcome, my friends. Adapt and overcome.
To be honest, I was ridiculing it when I first saw it, but it actually works and it's a good idea.
It'll do the job, I'll just have to get a new one.
Test your knots somehow. Right, well, we've both been getting, I think, what looks like dogfish bites. I've had it on my lugworm, big lugworm bait, and you've had it on, what was that on? Sand eel and carp?
Squid and carp.
Squid and carp, sorry, yeah. So it might not be dogfish, but I'm going to leave it a couple of minutes and then bring it in. Oh wow, that was a huge bite. that just whacked over.
Yeah, give it a sec to hook up.
Yeah. I hope you saw that on camera. That was big. That is not a dogfish.
Maybe something took the dogfish.
Can you imagine? Did you see that?
No, I heard something.
Mate, yeah, the tripod nearly shifted. Alright, we're gonna have to check that. Nah, nothing on it I don't think, but it's encouraging though, something's there. There's a little bit of weight here actually, guys. Yeah, there's something on here. I've got a little eel I think, or have I got... No! Hey, well, I wonder if something's had that. That's beautifully hooked.
What have you got?
Whee!
What's that? Is that a potent?
Porlock! Well, that wasn't on the species list for today, but I'm happy to see it.
He actually had it in his bait bag, just pretending he hasn't blanked now. It's a whiting.
Hey?
It's a whiting.
It's a Porlock, mate.
It's a fat whiting.
It's not, got no teeth. And you can tell it's a Porlock because it's got that chin. So whiting would have more teeth, and see the elongated chin like that.
Alright, yeah, it's a Porlock. Very similar, don't they?
Yeah, they can look quite similar. Well, yeah, it wasn't on the species hunt for the weekend, but I won't say no to a nice little Porlock. That was on the worm baits, the big lug sausage. Now I thought, and he's got some lice on him.
Interesting.
Look at that. Get that off him. Right on his tail fin as well. Poor guy. There we go. We're getting back.
Enjoy the walk.
Yeah, I regret doing that now. Whoa. Well, we can't take him anywhere without finding one. In fact, your new nickname is going to be Doggy Darren. But his first Bristol Channel fish is, of course, a dogfish.
Oh, the mackerel as well, though.
Hey?
Got a mackerel as well.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. You just caught that too, didn't you? I just caught a load of ragworm on my hook as well, mate. Funny that. Right, guys, well, as you can see, Darren's reeling in. And I'm about to just start reeling mine in. But I've had a dogfish since you last saw us. Darren's not got anything, but his bait's definitely been tapped. But yeah, it's definitely dogfish there. Which, you know, it's his first time fishing Porlock, but it's
Well, I don't know, like.
what?
That three-quarters of that joey's gone.
Probably a doggy munching at it. I just missed the
Nah,
hook.
it was £60 conger. It's progress though. That's a cast and I got my rig back.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I'm after a big Huss. The helpful bloke at the tackle shop in Watch It did suggest that Huss will be the best species to target today, especially down at Porlock where some good Huss have been coming out. So I'm chucking out nice big fat joey mackerel, top and tails, whipped on with a 6.0 pulley pennel set up on a wire trace. See what it can find me. Right, well, there we go. Target species, not a bad eel. About £2.5 this one came in at, but they come a lot bigger, and that's what we're after. But we're off the mark with the eels, so fingers crossed we can find some bigger ones. Still, not a bad fish. He actually had me completely snagged up, and I had to work him all the way down the shore and back and forth to try and get him free. But yeah, strong fish, and he's thick for his size, really dense. But let's get him back.
Take.
Darren just screamed to me, big fish, big fish. You know, he is mic'd up, so I don't know if you're going to hear him saying some words I can probably look to beep out. Oh well, at least he's got his time on that one. Right, well, it's about time that me and Darren are starting to pack up now and head to Blue Anchor. And I think I might have a dogfish on here to end the session. Oh, there's something on this.
Dog on!
Dog on. Hey?
Oh, but it's a big bill.
So do I.
It's not though, is it?
It's a bit heavier. I mean, that would be a cracking way to end the session, not gonna lie. This is on the big joey bait. I thought it was the bullets for a second.
I thought it was a smooth hound.
He's coming in an absolute bundle. That's why he felt heavier. You're happy about that, aren't you?
Very. How many dogs have you had?
2.
Yeah, same mate.
Have you?
Yeah.
What, genuinely?
2, yeah. That's all I've had.
Right, let's go Blue Anchor. Get dogged out there too. With a few fish under our belt and the optimism still high, we made the short drive east to Blue Anchor.
Hi guys.
A venue that can offer very easy fishing straight out of the boot of your car, a few hours either side of high water. Okay, here we are, Blue Anchor. We've made the 20-25 minute drive down the road, set up at the next mark. So,
I've had my rods out about half hour.
yeah, don't start. I've had a few little nightmares setting up, to be honest. No, I didn't have a crack off. I had no crack off. First cast, the rotten bottom rig, which I've still got on, which to be fair, I should have taken off and have now done, the little rotten bottom clips. First cast, I went to cast, and unfortunately the rotten bottom clip, if anyone knows, if you've seen the actual little, the way it works, wasn't clipped in. So I was casting on my, I think it's £25, £30 fluoro, and yeah, the lead came off. Anyway, second cast, I went to go put a new rig on. Second cast, and one of my lines, or my main line, was wrapped around one of my eyes, so nothing broke off, but the cast flopped right in front of the water where we are. And a bit of explanation, so Blue Anchor at the moment, and the guy at the tackle shop again, who gave us the magical advice for the day, did say it's going to be busy here tonight, and it is. It's absolutely rammed all the way down. There's not really anywhere we could comfortably fish 4 rods, you know, between 2 people there. So we've had to come down a little bit further than we would have liked to, and fishing over where there's a bit of there's rocks right down below us, which shouldn't pose too much of an issue. I think if we can, you know, bully any fish that we get right to the surface, keep them up. We have got a drop net, but we'll just be mindful of these rocks that are right down low. But
Still got a bit of
we'll be
water
able to
coming
manage
as well.
Okay.
Still got a little bit more water to
Yeah,
come in
we've
as
still
well.
got probably about an hour of flood to come, and the rocks will be submerged, but as I say, you've got to be mindful they're right below our feet. So anyway, first 2 casts didn't go well. Third cast is now out there, second rod is all set up, so we've got all lines in the water, all good. But yeah, aim for tonight, or for this evening now, we're obviously into a nighttime session, or moving into darkness, is to fish this about 4 hours, probably 2 hours either side of the tide. We'll see really, obviously we've never fished it before, so we're here to figure things out. It is this wool fishing out the car. This is like the easy mark for us really. This is, you know, fishing right out of the boot, nice and simple. See what we can do over the next 4 hours or so. Plan after that is to go check into the hotel, grab some food. We've got a little Premier Edge down the road, and then it'll be moving off to potentially White Mark later tonight. That we'll see. We will see. Need the bites start showing now, don't we?
Oh, they're going to happen. I reckon probably top of high water we'll start getting bites.
I think you're right, yeah.
As it starts to flood out. However, your left rod just had a bit of a nibble.
I think that's weed. There
not
seems
coming
to
up
be
the
quite
line.
a lot of seaweed.
It's not coming up the line though, is it?
No, it wasn't. To be fair, the bloke down there had it coming up on his line. He brought loads of weed in, but
It's crazy how much the water levels change here so quick as well.
big tides. We have got a spring tide this weekend as well. I can't remember exactly what the
11 metres.
is it 11? Is it?
Yeah.
A lot of water.
10.91 to be exact for here.
Oh wow. Obviously, guys, it's the Christmas period, and I just got to say these are my favourite biscuits right now. Absolutely elite. I was giving Darren one for the first time. What do you reckon?
I didn't ask.
So me and Darren were just saying about what our gut instinct is for Blue Anchor. We've had lines in the water now for probably, I don't know, 45 minutes, maybe up to an hour or so. And you know when you just get to some marks and you feel, yeah, it feels fishy, feels on. And other marks you feel a bit like, first time fishing it, don't feel too confident. Porlock, to be honest, felt very fishy. It felt, I don't know, it felt like it was going to fish all right, and it did. But yeah, my gut's telling me here that this is, I know it's all in my head, it's all in, Darren was saying exactly the same thing, but the marks that are easy to get to and easy to access, for some reason just feel like they won't fish well, or they won't fish as well as, you know, marks that you have to do a bit of a walk for, which I know doesn't necessarily make any sense at all.
You've got to be in it to win it though.
Very much so. Yeah, I've got to be in it to win
I
it.
think we've got to at least give it to half six.
Yeah, we'll definitely give it till the turn of the tide. I have read a lot online when we're doing our research that a lot of the times the bites can start here at the turn of that tide. So we'll definitely keep our baits in the water, keep fishing it, you know, proper until that time.
Yeah, I'm not in a rush to rebait yet.
No. I'm glad we didn't try and fit in up there somewhere. It
Well,
would've
you've done my head in.
Yeah. Especially when you. This is why I don't fish the piers or the kind of groins down south anymore, because you just get too many people kind of like, you know, crossing lines over, and then it's like shoulder to shoulder. It takes the enjoyment out of it, I find.
I like my space.
Yeah, I like my space. Don't get me wrong, I love the community side of it. I love that, you know, everyone's getting out fishing, but when it kind of, you can't do your own thing and just have your space and fish how you want to do, and you're trying to work around other people, it gets,
Yeah.
you know. As the session continued, so did our efforts, rebaiting often and casting a multitude of baits between the 4 rods we were fishing, to see which, if any, might pay off. Right, well, we've finally seen some life. My right-hand rods, which I think from memory, well, Darren seems to, yeah, definitely is actually, because I remember casting out on the right side, is the rag sausage. So it's 3 or 4 ragworm whipped together and then tipped with squids. So a few little tapping bites, probably some whiting, that kind of stuff, but it's life, so I'm not, you know, I'm not going to complain. Now I did consider, I have got my a third rod with me actually, and if I did pull out any small whiting pouting that were good for conger size baits, then I was contemplating sticking one out on that third rod. If there is one on there, and I'll check it in a moment, that might be the plan. But I'm glad to see there's definitely fish here. That's progress. Progress. Right, I'm going to rebait this ragworm rod. This is the one that did have some little nibbles on it, so could have something little hanging off the ends. Just got to make sure we get it over these rocks. I think we should be able to. No fish. Yeah, it's not really been touched too much. It's my rag sausage tipped with squid. Oh well, right, we'll get it freshened up though, get it sent back out. I'm definitely holding out for that turn of the tide, to be honest. I'm hoping that we can start seeing some fish. Right, bombs away. Problem we're having, guys, I think there's some little nibbles happening, little bites, but a load of that stuff as well. Ton of weed, which is starting to cling onto the lines and being a bit of a nuisance. So it's about 20 to 6, I think now. So the tide has just turned, so I'm probably going to make these my last cast, leave them out for 30 minutes or so, and unless it picks up, those will be the last casts, and then we'll head back, get some food, get some dinner, check into the hotel, and then move on. I don't think it's worth sticking out here. Right, well, that's a bit of an update. A positive update, that is. I just had a really positive bite, lifted into it, felt a fish, felt a good fish as well, not gonna lie. But unfortunately, when I started playing it, reeling it in, it came off. So that was on the ragworm. I had a big rag sausage tipped with squid. So I think that was, it was only lip hooked, really lightly lip hooked, whatever it was. So although these were gonna be my last cast, I'm actually gonna rebait this quick. And get it back out there, even though I've packed the worm away. Right, we've just had a really positive bite on the mackerel bait, the big fillet of mackerel that we've got sent out, which is my left-hand rod. And you can probably see that tip light flashing. That is because the wind's picked up a little bit. So it's the wind doing most of that sending the tip light off, but it was a huge, big dive. I'm going to leave it out there for a little bit longer, see if anything develops. I'm going to bring the left one in now, start slowly packing up. Just gone 20 past 6.
It's gone 20 past, is it?
Yeah. I'll leave the rag one out for a bit.
Yeah, I'll bring my left in as well then, mate.
Get it back, get fed, and find somewhere that's going to fish well. Tell you what, could be weed, but there's weight on this.
There's weight on this as well. But it could be weed. I think it is.
I think it is weed actually. Yeah, big bunch of weeds. That's what we like to see, eh?
Tiny little pouting in the middle of it.
Yeah, I was just checking to make sure. There we go, guys. Got myself a lovely weed fish. Ah. Right, well, we're going to pack up now, head to the hotel, get checked in, get some food, and then head to our next mark. I'm dealing with this all night. Home sweet home. Oh, wow, look at them. Good lighting, yeah. Alright, these are the digs. Digs for the night. Here we are. Don't get in trouble with it, this is YouTube. Now we're gonna get freshened up, get some quick grub across the road. We've got dinner included, there's a brewer's fare. This is a nice room, you can't go wrong with the Premier Inn, can you? It's a good size as well. But yeah, we're gonna get freshened up, get the stinky fish juices off the hands, get some food, and head back out. Oh mate, we've got a lovely view out here. Yeah. Tesco. Big Tesco as well, by the looks of it. Right, change of plan. There was a horrendous queue at the restaurant to try and get our dinner. It would have meant we'd be queuing for probably 30 minutes to get to the bar to order our food. Then I heard there's a 45-minute wait for food once you've done your order, which is a bit annoying because we prepaid for dinner so we can get in and have it, but it ain't gonna happen. We are gonna get ready to get fishing, get our gear back on, get to a Burger King drive-thru on the way, and then get down to White Mark so we can actually get some fishing. It's nearly, it's what, 7:30, nearly 8 PM? So there's no point wasting time. Yeah, we'll take the loss, get some Burger King, and actually, hopefully, get some good fishing done. Get the flash too, right? Right guys, here we are. So back down, set up to the shoreline, this time at White Mark. The tactics are going to be pretty much still the same, and we're going all out. We're fishing pretty hard now. We've travelled fairly light. We met a really lovely bloke actually up in the car park who travelled down at the same time with us and actually showed us, obviously this is a new mark to us, and I think any new mark can always be a little bit, you want to be a little bit careful, but especially at night. We did a lot of research beforehand, but even still, to have him kind of come down, who's fished it quite a fair few times it sounds, show us, the safe path to get down to the mark at night was really useful. So he's fishing just up from us. There's another couple of lads I think fishing just a bit further than that. So hopefully some of us get some good fish.
Seemed like everyone turned up when we did.
It did, yeah. We feel confident we got our timings right because the whole car park started to fill up with people, fishermen, as we turned up, which is good. It's nice though. It is nice to know there's a few other people on the beach, especially with it being our first time here, so all good stuff. But we're a couple hours before low water, so we're going to fish it down to, I think it's about 11, half 11 tonight, low water. It's about 9, half 9 now. But we're going to fish it down to the bottom and then probably a couple hours back up. So we've got probably a good 4 hours fishing here. Hopefully we can get that fish that's a bit special today, one of those target species. We've got, I've still got a big mackerel bait out, a big joey bait, and I've actually got sandeel and squid on the other rig. Both pulley pennels, same as we've been doing all day. What have you got out?
Squid and sandeel on one, the last carp bomb on the other, but I'm just prepping some sandeel and squid wraps at the minute.
There we go. So we're going after the big congers, the big rays. The gentleman that we were speaking to earlier, he said he'd been fishing earlier today, had a 3-pound cod out a bit further upshore. So they're being caught, for sure, definitely. But I think the cod hunt for us today is going to be left till maybe tomorrow. We left the worm baits up in the car still. We're going to focus just on, I think, the Huss, the rays, the conger. See what Bristol Channel's got in store for us. These boulders are bloody huge, very, very treacherous. I mean, you can see the size of my foot there, and you've got a hole which is pretty much the size of your foot. You can easily slip down. So you've got to watch your step around here. So far, no broken legs or ankles.
I'm assuming you've seen me stack it, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I did the same coming back up. Well, I'll tell you what, putting the effort in, I think we deserve a fish. That's all I'd say. Definitely deserve a fish.
It's so much effort going down there, like.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, still nothing to show for it yet. And it's been hard going. We've had on and off showers, which has made the fishing and the filming a bit difficult. Obviously, these massive boulders that we've got to kind of deal with, when they get wet, they get pretty treacherous. Both of us have had a fall already. But That's just part of the game here. We've still got a little while though, but I definitely think we need a fish. The morale was pretty high, I think, when we got there, and we were very optimistic. You know, a few people turning up, but it just hasn't happened yet. It hasn't turned on. We are fishing now, so we're pretty much near the bottom of the tide, and we can see the sand. You can actually walk down onto the sand now, just about. So, you know, the clean ground that we're fishing on, of course. It is going to race back up in about an hour or so's time, maybe a little less.
Sleep well tonight.
Yeah, after those couple hours of blanking at Blue Anchor though, and now this.
Mate, I can't even stand there.
You'd think Darren's had a few beers the way he's walking. He hasn't.
Honestly, mate, I can't even bait up my rod without falling over. I need to redo that left rod, but I'm still traumatised from the last one.
Well, as you can probably tell, we're off the rocky ground and onto the sand. The tide is quite a distance out now. We've probably got about, I don't know, 45 minutes left of this tide before it starts. Well, probably less than about half an hour now until it starts flooding back in. So we thought we were going to make the most of this kind of flat, sandy ground where we can fish it a little bit easier and not be dealing with all those rocks, and try and pull something out. But honestly, it has been tough going. We're pulling up weed now on the lines. There's a fair bit of surf, which is making bite detection a little bit tricky, but we're still going at it. But yeah, it's tough going, really tough fishing at the moment, which is a shame, but giving it our best go. And just to give an idea of how far we've moved the gear and kind of the terrain, that up there, way in the distance, is where I left my bag and stuff, because I don't need to bring all that down, where I initially was. And here we are now. Get that water off the screen. There's Darren. I mean, this is really, it's impossible to film now because it's just so terrible conditions. But way out here, there's a little bit of a gully there, which is interesting. Again, I don't know if the camera's going to show that or not. And there's a slight ridge here, small kind of sandbar, and then we finally get to the water line. And this is still racing out, to be honest. The tide's still going out. I mean, there's a rig here. Look at that. That's not my rig. That. What the hell's rig with that? There's a whole... Alright, well, that's a bonus. Didn't expect to see that. But there you go. That's how far I've walked. It's... I mean, if you're not used to these Bristol tides, I mean, we're not. It's the first time fishing it. It is pretty crazy, I can't lie. I've just realised what I've picked up.
What?
Do you want that rig back that you cracked off on earlier?
Is that my rig with the leader?
Yeah, it's the whole shock leader and the rig baited up still.
Oh, it is. It's one leg back.
Yeah, still baited up, which is a bit depressing. Nothing's at it that whole time. Right, well, we were in two minds about packing up. But we just spoke to the gentleman that's fishing just to the side of us that gave us a little bit of advice and tips earlier, and he suggested stick it out, lads, stick it out for the flood tide, which is due, well, pretty much starting now, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We've just sent out our last cast as far as we can, the bottom of the tide, and we're going to leave them out now, and this tide's obviously going to rush back in. Sorry, I'm trying to protect the, get you guys out of the wind. Unfortunately, my brand new mic, the jack on it, has broke. I've snapped it, if anything can go any worse. Yeah, we're going to leave those baits out, let that tide rush up so our baits are out way further than we could ever cast. See if anything takes them. He reckons the flood tide's going to fish a lot better, so let's see. Alright guys, Darren's just stumbled over in disbelief. On our last cast, his right rod has genuinely actually had a bite. That's the first bite we've seen since Porlock, pretty much. Well, actually, no, I had a few at Blue Anchor, but that was definitely a bite. Could it have just turned on? Have we paid our dues and made it worthwhile now? Sadly, that bite didn't develop into a fish. So, at about 2 AM, we trudged back to the car and headed to the hotel. Alright, back in the car, packed up. How would you describe that session in one word, Darren?
learning.
Oof. I would say shit. The next day was just that. A clean slate with a new opportunity to get amongst the fish. So, with around 5 hours sleep under our belt, a proper breakfast, and a new bout of optimism, we set our sights on the only venue that produced fish the day before, Porlock. Here we are, back down Porlock Weir, all set up. Pretty much similar tactics as yesterday, fishing down to low, which is about in 20-30 minutes. And we're going to fish the flood back up for a fair few hours for the majority of this afternoon. So fingers crossed we can salvage something. Lovely conditions though, it's a really nice, the wind's off our back now, we've got the big hillside behind us kind of sheltering us a little bit. Which makes it, it's flattened the sea off a fair amount, made it a lot more easy to fish. Just really hoping we can pull something out today. Fished all right yesterday, nothing sensational, but it was nice to get obviously a few species and a few fish in the bag, but last night was tough. I'm feeling optimistic, but I'm feeling pretty determined to try and make the most of today, I can't lie. Well, we can nearly see a full rainbow starting from over this side on the Bristol Channel, over the water, all the way to Wales. It's pretty cool, that. Well, it'd be just nice to pull a fish out to start off with. I don't even mind if it's a dogfish, just to start the session, know there's fish there, and I'll be good. So my right hand side rod, which is the ragworm sausage tipped with squid, it's just had a nice little bite on it. Hopefully that can develop into something. Right, well you'd certainly not put it down as being the middle of December. I think it's like what, the 14th today, 14th, 15th? I'm in a t-shirt, yes I got my salad pets on, but to be honest I'm too warm in them. I've only got a t-shirt up top, I've got my sunnies on. It's yeah, not wintry fishing at all, but I'm not complaining about that. If this was an ice cold right now it'd be pretty miserable. Now Darren at the moment is down at the bottom, low tide line, scouring for tackle, of which there's a lot. It is obviously a bit of a snag pit here, and every time you go down to cast, I mean, you're seeing line leads everywhere. Yeah, we'll try our best not to add to that. You gonna open a new tackle shop, are you?
Yeah, mate.
Got a lead? Them hooks look alright.
Got a lead, just in case.
I do.
That was spread from over there. See how much I had
I saw it like all the way down the stretch of the beach, which that is like an absolute.
I mean, that's like £10 nylon someone's using as mainline.
It's not a tapered.
No.
Well, as that flood tide is just starting, we're both refreshing our baits, getting them out as far as we can before that tide starts to come back up, and obviously we'll get less distance. We'll get less. Yeah, we won't get as far out. So I've got a nice juicy mackerel and squid bait. That's half a fillet joey and a big lump of squid. Going out on the pulley pennel with a rotten bottom. Now this is the last tide pretty much that we'll be fishing at Bristol. So we're hoping it turns on. There we go. As everyone says, if I was a fish, I'd be eating that. Right, well we've had a few more anglers turn up just down the beach. There's about 3 more now. Which is encouraging. If the locals are here to fish the flood, obviously we're here just to fish all stakes of the tide because we've travelled. But it's encouraging, and actually to be fair, since the flood started, both me and Darren have had multiple bites. I just had on my first, well, a few casts ago, I had what I think was an eel that's taking me straight into a snag, and unfortunately, well, I lost that one. And another cast, I brought one in and the rig's completely tangled up. So again, telltale sign that an eel's been on it. But definitely encouraging. I've just literally cast another bait back in the water, sorted the rig out, and already I can see some action on it. So it does look like the fish are definitely here, and they're hopefully starting to feed on this flood. So fingers crossed, I'm gonna catch a fish. But we're both fishing hard now. We've got a few hours left until we're making the trip back home. I've got next week off work actually, so I'm going to be doing hopefully a lot more fishing, but at the moment the weather looks horrendous, the winds are really strong. So we might not be able to do too much, but I'm going to look for a weather window. Darren is back at work tomorrow, so it's a school night for him essentially, so he can't be back too late. So we're going to fish at about 4, half 4, and start packing up and heading home, which gives us I think two and a half, maybe 3 hours more of fishing. I'm still optimistic, still hanging on in there. It's been a long old slog. As we had hoped, as soon as that flood tide began, Porlock suddenly sprang into life again. This felt like our chance. We had just hours left, and suddenly an opportunity to find that special fish we had travelled all this way for. Whether it was a big huss, eel, whatever would take the bait really. We went for it hard, and maximised the time we had good fishing baits in the water. Right guys, we are back into the fish. Finally, what's felt like eternity without any fish, but it's been really tough actually. The last hour and a half has been probably one of the most testing times I've had sea fishing, I'm not gonna lie. I've had lost multiple rigs. This area, this little stretch that I'm on is incredibly snaggy. And I know with Bristol Channel the mindset is you're gonna lose gear. We've got rotten bottoms, we've got all that kind of stuff, but there is a lot of snags right in front of me. And I've lost like 3 rigs already. I don't want to keep adding to that problem. So we're actually going to move up the beach, fish the higher section of the tide a bit further down, but this guy ran me into a snag and I've just spent, I'm not kidding, about 10 minutes at the shoreline in front of everyone on the beach, looking like I'm playing the biggest fish possible. But to be fair, it gave me a really good bite. A target species, albeit not a big one, a little eel, who's just perfectly lip hooked actually. So I'm off the mark for today, which I'm really happy about. I'm not going to complain about that. Nice little eel. We'll get him back, move down, and hopefully find some bigger fish. Right, Dogfish Darren is not living up to his name. He's got himself, well, a Bristol Channel eel. Between making new cocktail baits, fishing through the dogfish, recasting rigs, pulling out of snags, and moving gear up a fast approaching flood tide, this soon became one of the most intense sessions I've ever fished. Determined, however, and with only 5 hours worth of sleep in the tank, we continued on, giving ourselves the best opportunity of finding that trip-worthy fish. Well, we've been fishing this, big bite on the right rod. The bites have been prolific, but it's mainly been dogfish and small eels. But we've been fishing hard, really hard, for the last hour and a half. If it isn't a kick in the teeth that we're about to pack up on a fairly lacklustre session, bloke to the left of us here looks to be into a really decent fish. See if he can land it. Unfortunately, it looks like it snagged him. So what happens a lot here. As soon as you get a fish, if you miss the bite, it often takes you straight into a snag. That's happened to me a few times today. And with that came to an end to our Bristol Channel weekend. Of course, there's a feeling of disappointment from not landing a target fish. However, if we landed exactly what we wanted to every single time we went out fishing, those moments when you do find a special fish wouldn't feel as unique. That being said, I learned an awful lot on this trip and definitely feel a more capable angler as a result of it. The Bristol Channel is a very different beast compared to many of the marks I typically fish on the south coast, thanks to its terrain and huge tides. But it's one I'll certainly be back to in the new year to fish again. I hope you've enjoyed joining me and Darren on this fishing adventure and have a fantastic Christmas, however you choose to celebrate. Fingers crossed Santa has left some nice new tackle under your tree. Bye for now.
You stitched these, did you?
Hey?
You stitched them yourself?
Yeah, I made these.
Yeah?
Yeah. Do you know what, actually, that is my first ever shore caught pollock. So I'll take that.
Didn't ask, mate.
Alright.